Coming to you live from Lima, Peru. This is the Fredcast, and I'm your host, Fred Busch. So, welcome everybody to episode 6 of the Fredcast. I am always happy to be with you guys. Today I am recording from Lima, Peru, a place that I consider my second home. So I've been coming here for the last 15 or so years and developed a really amazing community down here. So yeah, it's really gratifying. I've been teaching the subject of vegan nutrition and teaching about yoga for all these years, and to see the community just grow and everybody restaurants opening and vegan restaurants opening, and it's just really amazing. And so I'm just happy to be back down here in Peru. I know times are crazy down here in South America. But I calculated that the best thing to do is just to, be careful and, apply all the protocols and keep moving forward. So that's what I did. I came down here and I got back to work doing my programs that I've been doing really most of my career. These are yoga, intensive power yoga, intensive meditation, and intensive nutrition programs that all kind of it'll take 4 weeks or 8 weeks, depending on how they do it. So anyway, I'm here and I'm in my apartment here. I'm gonna record this session in this environment. It's the first time I'm recording not from my finca in Colombia. So it'll be an interesting session here today, and I'm getting excited to get started with you guys. So let's get started with my myth of this particular episode. We always going to do a nutritional myth. Today's nutritional myth is going to be about salad, and the idea that the more salad that you eat is the better. The idea that salad is the number one food for mankind. We're going to address that. We're also going to address a question that comes up a lot from people who are plant-based eaters, and then they get challenged by their friends or their family. Their friends and their family, they say, "Oh, well, don't vegetables feel pain?" That kind of an argument. We're going to look into that for people that would like some help addressing that question that might come up for them in their life. And we're going to look into silence and why silence is important for success. All right, so let's get started with today's episode. Again, thank you for your time. I definitely appreciate it, and I hope you get a little bit out of these episodes, enough to make it worth your while. At any time, you can always email me questions, and just like you see, I address the questions either online or on the air here, or if it's a personal question you prefer, I can always just reply back to you directly. You can address questions to me at my name, Fred Busch. You could hopefully know how to spell that, FredBusch, at miamiyoga.com. And that'll get right to me, and then I can address your questions here on a future episode, or I can, as I said, get right back to you if it's a pressing matter of a time-sensitive nature. Okay, so how about that idea about salad, huh? You're always told that salad is, eat more salad. You want to be healthy, eat more salad, eat more salad. So is that really true? And I'm going to say that I understand the idea that salad is healthy. And of course, if you're looking at a plate of food and that plate of food has a steak on it, and then it has a bunch of cooked potatoes on it, with whatever is on those potatoes. And then it has some, I don't know, some beans with ham on the side of that. I mean, who knows what's going on with that plate. But then on that plate is also salad, or on that table is also salad. Well, then, yeah, okay. In a table that is of that kind of a nature, then salad is a health food, and salad is by far the best thing that a person would find at that table. And in a situation like that, yeah, eat as much salad as you possibly can. Stuff as much of that stuff down your throat as you can, so that you don't have to eat everything else that's on that table. But as we all know, salad is not very filling unless you put some sort of a extremely fatty, dressing on it, which is either a dairy-based fatty dressing or some other. I mean, there are ways, of course, which we can very intelligently make your salad, with more dense and calorie dense and fatty, with adding avocado. That's a smart way. But most people, when they talk about how they're going to make their salad, filling, they're going to put cheese on their salad, or they're going to put meat, or chicken. I mean, the idea of putting meat into a salad, and they still call it a salad, I mean, it's very strange. But so we're just looking at really what a salad is. It's all vegetables, right? Hopefully. Yeah, so as I'm saying, where I guess this idea that salad is good for you, or salad is a health food, is from when you compare it, potentially to the rest of what is called by the pseudo nutritional kingdom, a balanced diet. Where they say you want a balanced diet and you want to have a certain amount of protein, even if it's an animal protein, that's still called a balanced diet. And you want to have a certain amount of a carbohydrate, even if it's a fried or a heavily cooked carbohydrate, that's okay too. It's a balanced diet. So if you're in that world of the balanced diet, and as I said, you have an opportunity to have a salad, which is a raw vegetable salad, you better believe that's going to be your best bet. And I do highly, highly recommend you eat as much of that salad as you can, because it's really your by far your best option. And there's nutrition in the salad, at the very least. Not a lot of calories, as I was suggesting, but a lot of relatively a lot of nutrition. All right, so that's true. All right, I've made that statement. I've clarified myself. I'm not overly attacking salad. I am not anti-salad. Um, I think salad is wonderful, in certain situations, and I myself enjoy salad, in certain situations as well. However, what I would like to say is that we're actually not salad eaters, as humans, as primates, which is what we are, in case that's news to you. We are primates. We are a member of the great ape family, and as primates, we have a certain digestive anatomy, and that digestive anatomy is made for fruit primarily. A example of an animal that's a salad eating animal, which is of course a vegetable eating animal, which is like the grasses and the leaves, and that kind of thing, things that have lots of cellulose in them. Examples of animals that eat that are called herbivores. Maybe I think you've heard that before. Herbivores. Um, and it's jokingly said, or maybe it's even, somewhat, seriously said, just mistakenly said, that humans are, when they say that they're vegetarians, that humans are being herbivores, or humans are herbivores. Well, we are not herbivores. Far from it, actually. We're not cows, and we're not horses, and we're not giraffes, and we're not elephants, and we're not those things that are herbivorous animals that can eat, just grass and lettuce all day long, and derive enough calories. We cannot really do that, in fact, at all. And if you notice anything about herbivores, and I know a lot about them, because I have horses, they just eat all day long. I mean that literally. They even eat at night. they just plain eat their entire life. They're just eating, and so that they can attempt to get the calories that they need out of that grass. And obviously, they're successful as long as they are eating pretty much all of their waking hours that they can. If they're not put to work or put to riding or something. But as soon as you take that saddle off, there's only one place they go, right back to eating. Um, so that's herbivores, and we're not them. Okay, we're primates. As primates, we are fruit eaters primarily. So when I say that vegetables, the more salad you eat, the better, is a myth. What I mean is that what that's really true about is the more fruit you eat, the better. All right, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that you want to make a statement that says the more X that you eat, the better. Fill in the blank. Well, you would never put salad in that blank. You would put fruit in that blank. The more fruit you eat, the better. Okay, now salad is good as a kind of supplementary, auxiliary, food that you eat, maybe in lunchtime or in the dinner time or something like that. You want your salad, and if you're gonna have your salad, you want to make it, and you want to put it with some fat in there. You want to get that grounding element to the salad. You want to get that filling or satiating aspect of the salad. Then you're gonna need to rely on the avocado. You're going to have to use the avocado because you do not want to add these other animal-based fats like the cheeses or neither really any of these heavy oils as well. These salad dressings are oftentimes worse than you would think. And so you want to do it right, and you're in the mood to be intelligent about it. Then you put a bunch of avocado in your salad, and that's a really wonderful meal as a supplement to eating mostly fruit. Now, I myself eat rice. I myself will eat, vegetable soup. I'll eat vegan lasagna. I myself will eat all kinds of emotional food. I'm not telling you that all I do is eat fruit and salad all day long. I think I made it clear that I did that at one point. I did that for 7 years. I was 100% raw food, raw vegan, 100% for 7 years. At some point after, I was traveling, and I didn't bring my preparations for my raw food snacks, and I just basically decided to stop eating raw on that vacation. I was in Turkey way back then. And ever since then, I've just been, eating a vegan diet, plant based. And for the moment, or the last many years, has been working for me. Um, and so I'm not telling you that, hey, eat salad or eat fruit and welcome to your new life. What I'm saying is simply the fact that the more fruit you eat, the better. Period. End of conversation. Um, and then yeah, if adding salad, if you like salad, and and salad, and it's a wonderful way of eating, actually, to have salad in your life. Just the idea that salad is the number one health food for human beings is completely false. If you're gonna make a juice, you want that juice to be mostly fruit. You don't want that juice to be mostly vegetables. And it really comes down to the difference between fructose and glucose. You don't want a juice full of glucose. You want a juice full of fructose. And really, you don't want to juice everything. You prefer to blend it. Okay, as I think I've said before, you can juice one thing maybe as a base. I usually use oranges as a base, an orange juice that's fresh. And then the rest of it goes into a blender, and that way we get all the fiber, we get all of the elements without losing any of the whole food aspect of the fruit itself. Okay, so guys, look, eat salad if you want, but eat it smart, and don't pretend that. I don't mean to use the word pretend, but don't allow yourself to believe that you're really eating anything that has value. Even if you call it a salad, even if they use the name salad, if it also has the name chicken on it, like chicken salad, no, let's not stop fooling ourselves. Okay, tuna fish salad. No, let's just call it tuna fish, and then let's not even use the word salad, because the word salad a lot of times has a healthy implication. I think that's probably why they started to use that word, in front of these animal foods. But they're really, I guess, contradictory in nature to say a tuna fish salad or a chicken salad or anything like that. And the same thing to just put cheese in your salad. I mean, guys, we're hopefully learning at this point that less cheese is more, and it's all about the fat. So I understand that. So just switch out the fat, get your avocado on there, get the cheese and the chicken and the fish off the menu for a while, and see how it feels. You know, I think at this point, if you've been listening to my other episodes, that my attitude is not overly judgmental, and it's really more about encouraging you to be experimental about it for yourself and for your own good and for your own benefit, not for me. Don't do anything for anybody else. All right, that's rule number one. I think we all act that way anyway, so you might as well just know that. Don't do anything for anybody else. Do it for yourself. And everything that I'm talking to you about this podcast, about the immune system, about eating better, about exercising, about resting, about the 5 fundamental factors, the Meditating Wellness Protocol, about all of the things that we do talk about here, it's all just for you. I mean, it's for the listener. I hope that I can maybe help a few people. I mean, I obviously would like as many people as possible to have access to the information that I'm sharing with you guys here. So feel free to share these podcasts as much as you can, if you think they're helpful. I hope they are, and if they're not, please let me know how I can make them more helpful. All right, so that's the story about salad. Let's go into this next section here, which is, I think, a very important conversation. This is a question that came up today, actually, in my training. So I'm bringing it into the podcast because it's fresh in my mind and it was just so relevant. And I think that if you're a plant-based eater, you've been eating vegan or any number of the gradations of raw food, at some point you might have encountered somebody who said to you, oh, well, that whole thing about, not hurting other beings, that whole thing about ahimsa, that's all good and swell, but you're killing vegetables. You're killing, plants. You're doing this whenever you eat vegetables. All right, so let's address that. And I've been asked that many times. My student asked me that today. She asked, well, what do you say to people when they say that to you? And so, here's the answer to that, everybody. The answer to that, there's a twofold answer to that. And on the one hand, I am happy to answer the question because it is actually a fairly good question. On the other hand, when someone who is eating animal-based proteins and eating food that is related to real pain and suffering of a human mammal nervous system is trying to relate that kind of suffering and that kind of pain and that kind of torturous conditions to what happens with a vegetable, it's not really an integrous question. Actually, it's more of a challenge designed to bring people down and to get them to not know the answer and hope that it confuses them and then gets them to stop eating vegan. That's really what they're looking at with that question. But we will answer the question, because if that question is asked by a vegan or asked by a vegetarian or asked by somebody who's on the path and actually has sensitivity to life and the sacredness of life, instead of is just trying to be an intellectual trigger to your own downfall, because that's what those kinds of people are working towards, and that's their method, is to use their fancy intellect. So, that's fine. They can ask that question if they want to. I don't usually spend a lot of time answering it to someone who's a meat eater. But when the question is asked by someone who's truly, interested in the spiritual implications of that question, it is quite a good question, actually. It's a fair question. It's a question that I think, you have to ask yourself if you really are on the path of respecting life. It's a darn good question. So, what's going on with that about vegetables? And I'm happy to bring this in here on this episode because it so much relates to what I was saying just a moment ago about vegetables versus fruit and which one is made for us to eat. And I was saying that we are fruit eaters and that we are made, mostly to eat fruit. And and it really just falls right into the same question, which is this is even spiritually, this is why we're designed to eat fruit. Because exactly that question is true. And when you do eat vegetables, you're killing the plant. And that's the facts. But when you eat fruit, you're not killing anything because fruit is actually made by the tree to be eaten specifically. Okay, so it was made to be eaten. It's not a living thing that you're saying to a living thing, okay, I want to eat you, so you now have to not be alive anymore. And that's what we do if we harvest lettuce. Well, that's what we do if we harvest an onion because that's the root, or we harvest a potato, those are the roots. So, um, so what I'm saying is that, that is true. Vegetables have lives, and to eat vegetables, karmically speaking, is not ideal. And to eat fruit is ideal once again because, here's a situation where you have a food, the only food on planet Earth that was actually made to be eaten. Everything else is not made to be eaten. It's its own life. It's trying to live its own life. Now, having said that, and I do believe that, and I think that that's the truth. The highest level of truth, I think, is that vegetables have lives too, and that's another reason to eat as much fruit as possible, because we're really not, designed to eat vegetables. Number one, and number two, fruit has no karma, the way vegetables does. Although, I guess my final point on this subject answers the question as well, which is that most spiritual masters, okay, so we're talking about the vast, vast majority of enlightened masters, okay, of India, of Tibet, and all those people, that the vast majority of the great, great spiritual masters agree that the level of consciousness of a vegetable is sufficiently low enough that the pain or suffering that they would experience would be sufficiently imperceptible to them enough compared to what a nervous system of a mammal or a fish might be experiencing, that it's okay to eat vegetables. All right, so general consensus of the enlightened masters is that it is okay to eat vegetables. For that reason, that their level of consciousness is sufficiently low, and that they're not really experiencing pain or suffering in the way that we understand it. And so that's the answer to that. But again, that's really the reason to eat fruit, which has no karma in it whatsoever and was designed literally to be eaten. Right, so we're going to get into the last section here of this episode. I do not have my copy of the Prophet here on this trip to Lima, so I'm not going to read a chapter of it today. But we'll get back to that as soon as I get back to my office there in the Medellin Wellness Center there in Colombia, which God willing should be sooner than later. All right, so then that makes it the last section of this episode is all about how to live enlightened, and how to use the skills that we learn in our classes, our spiritual classes, our yoga classes, our philosophy classes, and how do we bring that into our life, and how do we see that stuff manifest benefits for us. So today I want to talk about silence. I want to talk about the fact that silence is an important marker and an important method, we could even say, for success. Um, and so, what I mean to say with this is that a lot of people talk, and as they talk, they're actually losing energy, and that energy that they're losing out of their mouth through their words, because if you could really imagine, words are literally like energy packets, and every word you speak is like an energy packet you're just sending out of your body, um, you know, and that energy that is leaving the body, and if it's leaving the body, then it can't be used for something else. I think that is something that's common sense, that if you have a battery and you're plugging it in to something on the left side, you're not going to have enough or as much energy as you would have had it for when you have to plug it in on the other side, because it's being drained. And I suggest that most people are really losing a lot of their energy through talking about things that they want to do. Okay, so they talk about how they want to accomplish something, and they tell all their friends about how they want to accomplish something, or this goal that they have, or this resolution, and they talk about it. As they talk about it, they're actually, the energy that, or we could even say the resolution to do it, just dissipates, and it actually dissipates because of the talk. It has nothing to do with it. The person, doesn't have the ability to do it, or the person, is not interested in doing it. It may be that they don't really want to do it, and they're talking about it because they know that they don't want to do it, and it's a lot easier to make everybody else just believe that they do want to do it. Well, that's true, but for the people that actually want to do it, they need to understand that they are working against themselves by opening up their mouth to talk about something that has not been finished yet. Now, of course, there are always exceptions when you're talking about collaboration with your partners, your creative partners, and you're making a new business and you're starting something new. And yeah, you better talk, and get all the ideas out and then make it happen. But what I'm saying is, you don't go around and tell everyone that you know that you're starting to open up a new business before it's been opened. Or, my favorite example is, you don't tell people that you're writing a book until the book's written, because this whole thing about, I'm writing a book and this is what I'm going to do. And I would like you to understand that is getting in the way of actually doing it. And as an experiment with yourself, the next time you have an interest in doing something or accomplishing something, that does not rely on somebody else. You don't need somebody else to pay your tuition, or you don't, obviously you have to talk about things to make things happen with certain people strategically. Okay, but anything short of that, I would suggest, as for a fun experiment, that you don't talk about it out loud, and you just keep it to yourself, what you intend to do, and then watch how it just gets done, and why you just do it. And then later on, if you want to talk about what you did, I highly recommend that. That's fine. You can talk about what you accomplished, and maybe even how you did it, if you want to make a lesson about it. But don't, or work on not talking about what you're gonna do, because I think you'll find, maybe you won't. I have found that the more you talk about what you're gonna do with people that are not actually crucial to the project, then the less that you find that you are actually doing something. All right, so let's see if that works for you. It's all about being a scientist, everyone. It's about experimentation. It's about enjoying the process of, of seeing how different elements in your life have different effects. You know, the last thing I ever want is for you to take my word for anything. I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to be an evangelist. I've already done that. I've had that phase of my life where I isolated all my friends and my family, and I made everybody feel terrible for eating the way that they ate. Um, and I don't apply that anymore to my world and my family. And I don't talk about food with them really at all. I've learned that family is family, and talking about food is something else. Um, and so I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just grateful for your time. I really do appreciate this time we spend here, and to try it out. Try it out. I have a feeling it's going to work, meaning that it's going to make your life better in some way, whether it's physical, physiological symptoms going away, physical benefits, weight loss, toning the body, more energy, lower cholesterol. I mean, there's so many benefits that could happen from applying this stuff. Vitality, male vigor, female reproductive capacity, psychological, benefits. I mean, gosh, I literally could just take a whole nother episode and just talk about the benefits that could come and that do come from people that apply some of these principles into their life that I have seen, over my last, 20 or so years in this field. All right, so that's my recommendation: is have fun, be a scientist, check it out, check the stuff out for yourself, and then make your own determination. All right, so in the meantime, I really again thank you guys for your time. I'll be signing off here from episode 6 from Lima. And again, any questions, please let me know to Fred Busch at miamiyoga.com. Looking forward to the next episode. Hope you enjoyed this one, and hope to catch you next week.